Dad,
I can't find my
shoes
pants.
on.
Why are these
Babe,
lights on?
grab some lunch.
Mom.
Not in this
I just
car.
ordered Dad.
Stop
2 minutes.
playing with
David,
your
I'm
brother.
Gordy won't leave me alone.
Did you brush your
Toilet
teeth?
paper.
Dinner.
Which one are you
Mom, what's for
smelling?
dinner?
Mom, that's
Where's
in
the
the
paper?
toilet again.
Dad,
Where's the
get
fat
shoes
dog?
ready.
Farted.
Oh my
Babe, I
gosh,
can't
Gordy,
find
get
the
your
smell.
shoes.
Clean your room.
Gordy,
Let me
was
know
that
my
you?
homework.
Babe.
David.
Where's my
David.
Bobby?
It's
I'm
Mom.
cold.
Dip.
David.
Mom.
Hey.
Can I drive?
Another snack.
Oh,
Have your hair dry?
Where'd everybody go?
I love you guys so much. Babe, I love you. Babe, are you in the bathroom again?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Herm's House. I am your host, David Herm Hermosillo, and with me is the ever so beautiful co-host, my wife, Christine.
Hi. I know I don't feel like ever so beautiful. I'm in like the mom mode. It was like rough night / morning.
No, super hot. No, listen. Rough night / morning. With who? Why? What happened?
Well, I mean, all the activities, of course. I think, well, yesterday we had both baseball and soccer practice.
Correct.
And then we had Gordy, of course, Mr. Stubborn Pants, acting up both times. First didn't want to go to baseball, got to baseball, had a lot of fun at baseball, and then was told we're going to soccer practice. Didn't want to go to soccer practice. Starts at soccer practice, has fun at soccer practice.
Doesn't want to continue soccer
Doesn't want to
practice.
continue, like on the field, just mad with his jersey on. Like, coach is like, "Come on, Gordy, let's do this," and he's just like, "Absolutely not."
You don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, and he just walks around, and coach is trying to get him to run around, and so then I'm like, okay, I see coach struggling because he didn't have the other assistants this time. So I go out there and I was just like helping out. Side note, I got recruited last night to play on a women's soccer league.
Oh, women.
Unfortunately, the way my knee's set up, I had to decline the offer.
Oh.
But the fact that I'm still wanted for my skill.
Let's add women's soccer to Gordy's soccer, baseball, and then Mariano and Layla track. And then let's add
Another
women's
activity.
soccer on top of all of that.
I know.
And let's just see how it works out.
As much as I would love it,
Sure
I had
would be
to
great.
pass.
Yeah.
But then, we get home and yeah, I don't know. We were talking that the planets are aligned because like all of our kids just seem out of
they're
whack.
aligning tonight.
Oh, they're in line. That's
They're
right.
gonna align tonight.
So nice.
So nicely.
And so I just think all the kids and everything's just been off. I feel like that's part of it. I feel I kind of believe a little bit in that Mercury and retrograde stuff.
It's cool because it's not real. But yeah,
No,
I get it.
because like everybody just was in bad moods and had
In fairness,
attitude.
I don't have any proof otherwise.
No.
So, I mean, it just sounds ridiculous. It's probably 100% accurate. But I highly doubt it.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, so everybody's in moods. And then, Layla's making dinner, of course. She's amazing and makes dinner for us. But then I think he stresses out about making dinner for us.
Even though we've continuously told her, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have
But
to.
she
This
does
is not a
it.
chore.
So she was in a little bit of a bad mood, which we were like, it's okay, like, but we let them, and then Gordy was still in a mood about eating. But then the boys were kind of going crazy because then Cristiano and Gordy were just playing and messing around, and then Mariano, you guys were fixing his battery, and it just was.
Because Mariano got his license.
Yeah, Mariano got his license yesterday.
Mr. 16.
So that was another thing that happened yesterday. And then we go to bed, which it wasn't too bad. Oh, actually, the craziness continues because I get into mom, like after we ate, after all that stuff, tell Gordy, okay, go take a shower. And he takes a shower in our shower, does his own thing. And David's gone. He was helping Mariano with his battery. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, where'd Cristiano and Gordy go? Like, because Cristiano was just talking to me and he's gone. He left. He went back upstairs and was in his room cleaning. And then I was like, where's Gordy? And I'm just like, okay, let me go to the bathroom and then I'll come back. So I go to our bathroom. So the way our bathroom's set up, there's the toilet room, which, you go in there and then it has its own door. So then I go to wash my hands, come back out, and Gordy's asleep on the bath mat.
Because why? Why does he sleep on the bath mat? Because every time he gets out of the shower, he gets onto the bath mat covered in the towel because Sis says he could.
Yeah, yes.
That's his.
Sis lets him sit on the bath mat
Lets him sit on the
for a
bath
second.
mat.
So
and
He
get
was
his thoughts.
yes. And so he was sitting, and I was just like, I come out of the bathroom, I'm washing my hands, and I turn, and he's asleep, and I was like, oh my God. So he's like in his little towel wrapped asleep on the bath mat, and I felt so
Naked.
bad. Naked, yeah.
Naked, yeah.
Yeah, so I got him up, I got him ready, I put him into bed.
That's when I walk in and you guys are walking upstairs and he just has this look on his face like, I hate it here.
Yeah, so then he goes to bed, comes in this morning. He comes into our bed sometime in the night. I never know when in the night. I'm always asleep or
It was actually super early this morning. It was like 4:30.
okay.
Yeah, 'cause I left.
Okay, so then he comes in, he
All
lays
right.
with us until Sis comes and wakes him up to get ready in the morning. And mornings are hit or miss with this kid. Hit or miss because some mornings we're just like, Gordy, it's time to get up. He
And he
gets
does
up
a
and he goes,
backflip out of bed and he just cartwheels all the way to
just
the
happy, gets ready, eats, angel. And other mornings, not so much. Like this morning, you know immediately that it's going to be a bad morning the second he wakes up.
Mhm.
Because we're like, Gordy, time to get up. And you hear the whining, right? That's when it starts. You're like, okay, it's going to be a bad morning. Because it's not in the middle. It's never in the middle with
No.
Gordy. It's either one extreme or the other.
Yep.
And so this morning, it was going to be a bad morning. And so, okay, he sends him off. Normally, Sis just deals with him and he gets ready. He's still crying. He gets through the morning, but it's just a lot of whining, a lot of crying. But Sis, I think, was still residual of last night, and Sis was not having it with him.
No,
She was mad, and she was fighting with him. Okay, so then I get up, and I go over, and he's mad because he didn't have any sweats. All of his sweats are dirty. Now, we just had a trip, and we'll go into that, and we're still trying to recover and do all our laundry and get back from that, which is why all the sweats are gone. But he has jeans. He has jeans. He has shorts that Sis put him in, these comfy shorts. And so I'm up there and he's mad because the shorts are not long enough. It's cold. And I'm like, okay, Gordy, well, then you can wear these pants. And mind you, this whole time he's crying and I'm trying to calm him down. Like, we're getting through this. We're working through it. I'm like, okay, well, then you have these pants. You have to wear your jeans. He doesn't like wearing jeans because they're not comfy.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, Gordy, you have options. You have these pants, which I found we have some that are like jeggings, so they're a little stretchy.
I don't know why my son's walking around in jeggings.
But they're not jeggings, but they're like jeggings, so they're not as jean, like rough
Denim.
feeling. Yeah, denim. There you go. I
Denim.
couldn't.
Jeannie, Jen, Jeannie, John.
Denim.
Got it. Denim.
Another word for denim.
Was way off.
Genies. Anyways, lost my train of thought. There we go. Okay, you have the jeans, the jeggings. You have the jeggings. Option 1, you have the jeggings. They're warm. They're not jeans. Then you have option 2. You have your shorts. They're comfy. They're the same fabric as sweats. They're just short. I said you can put on another sweater. You can put on a long sleeve shirt because he wanted to wear his NASCAR shirt today. It's like, we'll put a long sleeve shirt under it. And I was like, or Gordy, third option is you go in your underwear. And he's like, everybody's gonna laugh at me if I go in my underwear.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
They're gonna make fun of me. And I'm just like, okay, Gordy, these are your options. And he's just like, so he finally kind of stopped crying at that point, which is good. I was like, I have to get ready. I have to go take your brother to school. So we take Cristiano to school this morning. And so I leave. Not even 5 minutes later, he walks out with the jeggings. I'm like, oh.
His NASCAR shirt.
His NASCAR shirt. But he was still whiny after that.
He was still whiny because
he
you
was
told him to
mad.
brush his teeth and then he lost his mind.
Yeah. He was just having a rough morning. And he's like, why do you get to hang out with Dad? I'm just like, okay, Gordy, I love you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you after school. And then, take off to go take Doodle.
I'm a popular guy. That's why I'm
Yes.
jealous.
So hence me feeling exhausted and not camera ready, but camera ready nonetheless.
You're beautiful. You'll share. You're more beautiful than Cinderella.
You're beautiful and your hair smells like cinnamon. Anyways, so that was the craziness of last night and this morning.
But the reason we don't have any sweats for him because he used them all when we went on Mariano's birthday trip, Pine Top, Arizona.
Pine Top, Arizona.
Had good times. Good time. All good things.
Yes. Pine Top, Arizona, if you don't know, is north.
North of Tucson by about
North of
4
Phoenix.
hours. Well, no, it's not north of Phoenix. It's pretty northeast, but it's a hard east
Did you say north?
angle. It's directly above us. Directly north of us.
Anyways.
Not northeast.
North. And it's really nice. We've gone there several times over rodeo break. Our kids, Mariano likes to snowboard, so the last time we went, Layla learned how to ski,
Layla learned how to ski.
and
Sort of.
so sort of.
Mhm.
And so Mariano wanted to go again for his 16th birthday.
Mhm.
And so that's what we did. And it's snowy up there because it's in the mountains. They have a ski resort. It's called Sunrise. And so we took
But
them
only the
there.
mountain was snowy this time. Last time we went, we took him, I think when he turned 13,
Mhm.
and the whole city was covered in snow. So, I mean, you couldn't go anywhere without it just being a good foot of snow everywhere,
Yeah.
which was great because we could take the sleds out just in our backyard of a little hotel that we got
Mhm.
and go sledding and, have fun without having to drive all the way up to the mountain, because the mountain's a good 30 minutes away. But it was cool to be able to just go outside. But now you go outside and it felt like it was the middle of summer. I mean, there was no snow. It was just
Mhm.
a bunch of dead pine needles, and that was about it.
We still had fun. I think
Oh, it was cool.
being able to see, I think for us at the ski resort was really fun. David and I don't ski or
No.
snowboard. I tried it last time. It was a nightmare.
I didn't try it last time, nor will I try it this time. And why didn't I try it? And I told them. The kids were like, "Oh, you're scared. Oh, it's because you're scared." I was like, "No, listen, that's not it. It's not it at all. I'm actually not scared to try anything. I'm in. Try anything once, I always say, what up?" But I've had a lot of ailments in my life. With being in the military, I was in a high speed job with aircraft maintenance, and I've had a lot of operations to fix a lot of ailments and whatever. But a lot of things still hurt, and I told them, I said, if I get on that mountain, and I mean, I'm fairly athletic, not too bad. Pretty sure I'll figure it out. I'll do pretty good. But the problem is, there is that high probability of me falling, and I might not fall right. And what happens if I fall on an elbow? Both my shoulders are already jacked. Now I'm gonna have an elbow or mess my shoulder up even worse. I was like, that's not gonna heal. That's not gonna heal. It's gonna hurt for the rest of my life. And skiing is just not worth doing that. Like, if you fall, you break your leg or whatever, bro, you'll be back in 6 weeks and you'll be sprinting again. No problems. Me, it'll hurt to take my shirt off. So I'm out. You
Well,
guys
that's
ever
right.
go to the bar? I'm gonna hang out. And I did, awkwardly, for a little bit, with your ex-husband's entire family.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
mean, at first, yeah.
no, at first it was super awkward because, I mean, hi, I'm the new husband. Good to meet you, right? I had met some of them before, but I mean, for the most part, very few of them, because they were staying in the same hotel we were staying,
Mhm.
which was even more awkward at first. And no, I mean, we hung out, we sat at the bar, we drank a bunch, and then we moved the party the next day to the hotel, and we ended up having a barbecue with them, and the younger ones, because there were some viejitos that went, but the younger ones, viejitos is old people for you that do not speak español.
They're gonna be like,
What is
which
a
one's?
viejito? What is a viejito? I've ordered one of those at a bar. That's a mojito. That's different. Anyways, we ended up playing drinking games at our room. Were we in our room?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the rest of that night was quite a blur because drinking games. We were playing King's Cup. God, man, I ain't played that since
It was fun. We had
I
like
was like
different
22
roles.
years old last time.
Yeah.
It was terrible, but
It was hilarious.
so
We
much
had
fun.
so much fun.
We
I
had a
think
great time.
it was really relieving for me just because, again, I was just nervous because it was, and I think for me, it's always been in my head about how I feel, right? And I always felt like maybe I had to set boundaries, or maybe, you know, just because I didn't want it to be awkward or feel like we had to pick sides or anything like that. Because I was friends with, my ex-sister-in-laws
You played softball with them,
yeah, we
didn't you?
played. We've
Yeah,
known
they're
them forever.
twins.
And so they were like really good friends of mine. And so going through the divorce, it was really rocky. I was really young, and we talked about this, is I didn't really know how to navigate the relationships, navigate
Right.
conversations, navigate any of that stuff. So we didn't really get to solve those issues.
In fairness, and same with me. Like, I didn't know how to, like, what to allow, what not to allow. Like I own you, like
Mhm.
you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. It's like I didn't, growing up in a very toxic masculinity, not just career field, but household. Like, our household is very macho driven. Of the man makes the rules, and everybody else just follows. So it was difficult for me to understand, because in reality I was like, I mean, am I supposed to care? I don't know, because I don't. but I feel like I should. And now it's like I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Have at it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it was great because we got to like have conversations with them and
Yes.
kind of just work through things. And it kind of like filled this spot in my heart that I had for a little bit
Mhm.
that I didn't know. That kind of was like that gaping wound, and now it's
And it
kind of
definitely
about
reduced a
healed.
significant amount of the awkwardness for me
Mhm.
because of the fact that not necessarily in the place, but um they always attend a lot of Mariano's sporting events.
Yeah, they're super supportive. And that's one of the best things about their family is they're so supportive of the boys.
The
They
aunts,
show up for
the
everything.
cousins, and we're talking
They
about just a
like
baseball game where we're almost for sure going to get slaughtered. And the whole team is, I
Yeah.
mean, the whole family's there, and yeah, but it was always so awkward for me because I just didn't really know them.
Mhm.
To you see them and you're just kind of like, oh hi, how's it going? Okay, kind of like a little head nod thing.
Mhm.
So I think, I mean, I would assume we haven't participated. This was this past weekend. Haven't participated since, but I would assume that it would be a significant
Different,
amount
yeah.
less
I
awkward.
I still feel like I have a little bit of that respect towards the boy's dad to be like, okay, if he's there, I'm not gonna be like, oh hey, hi. I think to me, I still have that.
No, that's you. That ain't me.
I
'Cause
know,
I
I know. But it's
couldn't care.
but maybe it's awkward, or maybe it's still things that I need to work through, and
Sure.
maybe it's the issues that I'm still going through.
Hey, I'm here to help. You can talk to
I
me.
know. Not on air.
Oh.
Maybe later at a different date. No, but I think it's just trying to navigate through it. I want to be an adult about it and navigate through it properly and respectfully and
Well, it's because you're a lot more mature than I am.
I know.
Let's say it how it is. You're a lot more mature than I am. I'm very much the like I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about your feelings. And that's the don't care about your feelings. That was the transition of how we were talking about skiing and doing all that. How I didn't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt because it's going to hurt for the rest of my life. But the kids fall. I said I wanted to label this section the death of rub some dirt on it and go, because that's gone. That generation no longer exists. It died with us, I believe. And Cristiano fell on the mountain he was skiing, so he finally jumped up and skied, which was a big thing. It was huge because
Yeah,
of the
this
fact
is
that
Cristiano's first time skiing.
he's usually a huge scaredy cat. He does not like to try things like that, and he's absolutely. And I told him, I was like, bro, just give it a shot. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You fail.
I think that's one good thing that about you coming into his life is that he's so scared to do things,
Mm.
and you've kind of forced him out of his comfort zone. Whereas mom, I'm not. If he's crying or scared, I'm
You
like,
just
don't
want to
do
hug
it.
him. No, you just
Don't
want
do
to
it.
hug him.
And you're like, you're gonna do it. And I'm like, why are you doing this to him? And then he does it, and
And
he's
it's
like
so much fun.
so excited and so happy about it. So
He does terribly.
at
In fairness,
first,
he does terribly.
no,
But
but
he has a great time
yes,
doing
but he
it.
loves, and that's the thing is he's happy that he did it. He's excited that it happened. And I think for me, seeing that and growing in that, because at first I was like, "Ugh, I'd get so mad at you.
Yeah.
You're like forcing them to do things. And then I realized it actually is like good for them.
Turns
It's
out I
not-
kind of know what it's like to be a teenage boy.
yeah.
It's weird. I know.
But and I think that's kind of what's cool is like him going out there and seeing him go and do these. But even he did fall, he did get back up,
No, he got back up.
but
He got
hurt
back up.
himself.
But he hurt his hand. He hurt his right thumb,
Mhm.
right? And he comes to us and he's like, I fell. And I don't remember what he said. He said some cool term. And he's like, I biffed it basically. And he was like, my hand, it's like he was
Some
like head
cool term,
shaking and
like a kids these
yeah, like a
days
cool,
term.
yeah, like a cool. Yeah, and we'll go over that part in a minute, but some cool term. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, bro, you're fine. You're good. I said, and I made him like touch his thumb to his other fingers, and of course without issue. He didn't get all dramatic and like, oh, I don't know, ah, it hurts. And then he got back up and he went. I was like, just okay. Well, you're fine. Do you want me to take you to the hospital? He's like, well, no. Okay, that's your only other option. Get back out there. And he even went on the green hill, which is the green
Yeah,
hill.
the
He was
bigger
sticking
hill.
on the bunny hill because it's very, very small. And Layla and Mariano convinced him. And I told him, I said, you gotta. There comes a time where you're scared, and I get it, and it's perfectly fine to be scared, but you can't not do all things you're scared of.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's what motivated him to say, all
Well,
right,
and then
let's go.
I went through worst case scenario with him, and I find that helps.
Oh, you can't go through worst case scenario because that's death.
Well, yeah.
Skiing.
I mean, yeah.
Liam Neeson's
No, okay,
wife.
so no,
Hashtag
let's rewind. Yeah.
Don't do that. That
No.
part. It was a
No,
terrible
it's
idea.
No. It's helping with anxiety. It's a
Wait,
it's
you
a
said
coping
let's go
method.
through worst case scenario.
But worst case
He's
scenario
gonna
to
die.
him. Worst case scenario to him
That's
in
what
his
it
mind that was keeping him from doing it.
Doesn't
It
happen.
wasn't death. If it was death, I'd be like, then you probably shouldn't do it. But it wasn't death.
But it
But
was
to
skiing.
be fair, all things in life that you're anxious about, worst case scenario is death in life. Period. Worst case scenario. But if you always thought worst case scenario, death always, you're never going to do anything. But
Sure.
worst case scenario, because
Specifically skiing.
but usually with anxiety and with me, I don't think death as worst case scenario unless it's something like going on a cruise. Then I think death. Titanic, ultimate.
Yeah, that's
But
close.
when you're going through it, you figure out and solve those worries. Like, what are you worried about?
Sure.
And so I walked him through some of them, and it's like, okay, well, what are you worried about? Well, that I fall. Okay, then what? Well, then you get back up. Okay, and then what? Well, what if I don't get back up? Well, he did say that, but I was like, okay, we'll send one of those little
Snowmobiles.
snowmobiles to
They'll
you.
go get
They
you.
got a little red cross on it. They'll go save you. And you go, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Medic!
Yeah. So it's just working through some of those fears of,
Mhm.
of going through. That's just my method versus you saying, just do it.
No, I don't say just do it. I say it out loud, but when I get, like I said, I get to his ear, and it's just me and him, and that's whenever I'm like, you can't be scared of everything. You can't not do everything you're scared of.
Yeah.
Because then you'll never do anything.
Yeah.
And that's what he was like. All right. He jumped up and he did it, and he came down, and Layla did the blue one, which I guess is a level up, and
Yeah.
her hands were shaking. She was like, "That was the worst idea. I should never do that. Oh my god!" But she got down.
Yeah.
She's like, "I only fell like 4 times."
Well, and I think that was the funniest thing. The funniest thing was them like, oh, I only fell this many times, and Cristiano was so excited because one of the last times, like, I didn't fall at all.
Well, that's
on
why
green.
Layla went on the blue, because she made it all the way down green without falling. But I think, and even Mariano's grandma Julie said, because she was the one going with her, and your ex-sister-in-law were the
Anissa,
ones going with Layla. And at the end, they were like, I think she was just exhausted. I think she was just exhausted because, and Layla was saying her calves were on fire. And I mean, we're not skiers,
Yeah.
This is literally the second time she's ever done it. And she was just, by that point, we'd been doing it for like 6 hours, and she was just done. And she picked the wrong hill to start at the end because she was exhausted and scared. But she got down.
Yeah.
She went all the way down. But yeah, the next day we asked Cristiano, like, how's your thumb? And he was like, huh? Oh yeah, no, it's still, look, it's still swollen. And you're just like,
And to be fair, it is swollen
I
and
agree.
it does look bruised, but
I'm not downplaying
but
that.
the way he's moving it, the way it's like it's probably not broken.
Playing video games was no issue.
No.
And I've played video games a lot. And let me tell you, if your thumb is busted, you're going to be busted.
Yeah, and he's been playing video
And
games.
he's been without issue.
Yeah.
And then you even asked him again when we had picked him up from school on Monday, how's your thumb? And he was like, I don't know. Oh, and then he remembered, oh yeah, wait, it hurts. Oh. And I was just like, oh my, dude, like rub some dirt on. Oh, and that's what brought up, that doesn't exist anymore. You can't just be like, rub some dirt on, walk it off, bro.
Yeah, but with reason. With reason, because like the whole concussion thing. Like,
Yeah.
just you're fine, keep going. No,
Yeah, you're fine.
there's times where
You get knocked out, okay, get up. Like you
No,
remember whenever you
but I
had
wasn't
a
knocked
flash of
out.
light?
I didn't get knocked out.
Hey, you just went to
I
sleep.
carried on. But thankfully I didn't like have a brain bleed or anything or
But you know
anything
what
like
you
that.
didn't do? Oh dear Lord, woe is me. You're like, dang it, this hurts. I'm going to bed. You didn't make a big deal about it. You did, because you are raised in the generation of you're fine. You're fine.
But sometimes you're not fine. And sometimes if you're not fine, you should probably get checked. It's just the thing of it's the boy who cried wolf, right?
I
Like
understand. Let's make it clear. I understand. If he literally had broken his thumb, then I'd be like, yeah, let's go get it fixed. That's not a rub some dirt
but
on.
I also hear like of the parents that
But
the
nothing's
kid
broken.
but the kid like actually breaks it and then carries on with life and then like is hurting and then they take him and this whole time it's been
like our
broken.
friend who we will not name names, that her son literally had a broken arm, and you're like, oh my God, get over it, dude. Seriously. And then it kept hurting, and she was finally like, fine, because I think it swelled.
Mhm.
And she was finally like, fine, let's take you to the doctor. He had a broken arm.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my God, what kind of mother?" But he was a baseball player. Like, it's one of those, like, bro, you
But that's
can't,
what I'm
everything
saying is
can't
like
hurt.
it's a little swollen. It's a little bruised. Is it broken?
Well, his was a little swollen, and his was you could touch your digits with your thumb. You're fine, because if you break your thumb, you can't do that,
Mm.
or it's excruciating pain. He was moving like it was just, get out of here. You're fine. But it's with all of them. They
Yeah.
drive. Mariano, he hurt. Oh my, you got to take him to the doctor. The doctor's got to tell him you're fine. How miraculous is it that when he had took a face mask to the knee, and I told him, I said, the only thing that, like, it's not broken, because again, you wouldn't be able to bend it, you wouldn't be able to walk it, but it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. I know, I know. Don't baby it. He's limping up the stairs like some little old man, and I'm like, stop babying it. You have to walk on it. I know it hurts, it hurts. And we finally took him to the doctor because, oh my God, we got to make sure that it's not, there's no fracture, because everybody's now worried because he's still limping after 2 or 3 days. And I'm just sitting here shaking my head. And luckily, I'm the one that takes him to the doctor. So I took him to the doctor, his pediatrician, and they look at it. They do a quick X-ray. They bring it back, and he's basically like, "Yeah, you just kind of got to tough it out. You got to walk on it, and kind of break up some of that bruising and whatnot." And I asked him right there. Luckily, they had actually sent us to an orthopedic surgeon, or an orthopedic whatever, orthopedist.
Orthopedic doctor.
Sure, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, that guy actually happened to be dad of one of Mariano's teammates.
Mm.
So even though he didn't know Mariano personally, like, he knew, of course, the team and all that kind of stuff. So I asked him. I know, of course, Mariano knows his son, and I asked the doctor in front of him. I said, "So, doctor, you're telling me, with someone with no medical background whatsoever, that the advice I was giving was completely accurate, because it was to something that I had faced, and known that if it's not broken, you kind of just got to let it rest, and you got to walk through it." And he was like, "Yeah, basically." And I looked at Mariano, and he was just like, "You didn't say that." Yeah, of course, man, of course, with the sarcasm, like, he was just, he knew. And then the next day, he's running
He's
around,
fine.
everything
He's
is
fine.
fine, and I'm like, what on earth is the point of that? And I don't get that. Bless you.
Thank you.
I don't get that mentality. I guess we just weren't allowed. Maybe
You were
as
not
kids,
allowed.
we just weren't allowed. There was no babying.
No,
It was, get
it's
your butt
it's
up. You're fine.
it's the difference.
You want something to cry about? I'll give you something.
Yeah, I mean, and we had a really long conversation. It's funny because I'm like, we sit in the car and we drive and we do things, and I'm like, man, if we had our microphones, we could just like bring the little microphones that Mariano has and just record while we're talking in the car. Because yeah, we had this long conversation about like the way that we were raised, and we only know what we
Do we
know.
need a reality show?
Oh God, that would be crazy.
Just trying to use the knowledge we've gained throughout our life,
Right, and our parents
trying
only
to
knew what they knew,
transition that to our children, which is very
and not carrying on
frustrating.
generational like
Trauma.
traumas. And I think it's hard to break it because you trying to get you to like break that
Hit him.
the mentality of right
Hit him.
that it's trying to
Oh,
break.
we got hit.
You did, and you're like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's a bootstrap theory.
Yeah.
And it's like breaking that and trying to get you to see how to break it, and you fight me on it. And I think I had a breakthrough
Yeah, I
with
doubt it.
you seeing it.
Yeah.
Then you say this and you're just kidding. You can tell it. You have a tell, and
No,
if you're
there's no
watching
tell.
this on YouTube, he has a tell, and you'll find it. You'll find it as we go through this show, and you watch him. He has a tell. If you know him, he has a tell.
No.
When he actually listens and gets it, but doesn't want to admit it,
Lies.
he has a tell.
Liza Minnelli.
And so I think you got it, and I think it broke through.
Mm-hmm.
And working through those, like how we work through the kids now, and talk to them, and how we work through like the logic, and how we work through the punishments, and how we work through different things, and how each of our kids have just seen us at different parts of our lives.
I know. Poor
And
Noah.
I know.
Poor Mariano.
Yeah. And
They each had 18-year-old parents,
right.
which is rough.
It's rough. I
'Cause
mean,
we were
Layla's going to
dumb.
be 18 in October.
No, she can't be no mom.
That's what I'm saying. But at this point, at Layla's age, I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's just crazy to think about. And so, but it's working and breaking those chains
Yeah.
of how we're raising our kids, and how we hopefully are going to make them more emotionally aware of what they're doing.
That's the idea.
and so they
Either
can
that
be
or we're going to
better.
ruin them for life.
Yeah,
One of
one
the
or
two.
other.
Time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Rub some
Whatever.
dirt in it.
Rub some dirt on it. Oh, I think
Oh, we have a visitor,
we
I
have a
believe.
visitor. Yeah. I was going to say, what on earth is happening? Somebody just came into our front door, and the only person that could do that is probably my little brother.
Do you want to come in on the episode?
Yeah, just say hi. Hey, what's
You
up?
look cute.
You can stand behind me. Oh yeah, yeah. That's my little brher Elmo.
We have a
Yeah,
visitor.
yeah, he's a big part of this family.
Yes,
yeah,
he is.
it's-
I mean, if you see a lot of our family pictures on
Oh,
those
yeah.
things.
And we're gonna recreate that hopefully this year to add the original family photo, and we'll redo it now because it's the 10-year mark.
The 10
So
year.
that'd be cool, and we're gonna add a human being to it. It's awesome. That's Gordy, by the way, just for the record. But yeah, let's go ahead and a quick transition.
We're not doing trivia today.
No trivia again today. I think we're just gonna try to mix it up every episode with different things. But in honor of my beautiful wife being on the second episode
Yeah.
of
I'm so excited because
another podcast,
I got
a
invited
friend
back.
of ours, a great friend of ours, Jay Salazar,
Yes.
has a great podcast which I love listening to. That is called Literally No One Cares.
Literally no one cares. It's been so much fun to be on it.
And it's
be invited
hilarious.
back.
First of all, he's funny, and then my wife always adds her dry and mean humor, and it's hilarious too. But
Yeah.
we're gonna end this with our own. Literally, no one cares, but it's kind of important to us.
Yeah.
So for me, this week is the NFL Combine, and it's where it's about 300. Right, literally, no one cares. No one cares. But to me, I'm watching all the Texas players and being like, what's your 40 time? Oh, how high are you going to get drafted? And then I'm looking, of course, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I work for the Dallas Cowboys. No, I don't. And I am going to put my input on who we should draft because I am part of the team, sadly. And that is literally no one cares. But for me, I track it on my phone. I'm watching like what was his, they're doing cornerbacks and safeties today. And I know you don't care, but
Yeah, literally.
it's a big deal.
No one cares.
But literally no one cares. So,
cares.
But go ahead. What's yours?
So I'm thinking about it, and as I thought about it, because I wrote this down when we were talking about this is what we're going to do for the podcast, but I think a lot of people care about this, but they might not, because I care about it so much.
Mhm.
SNL just had their 50th anniversary
yeah,
episode. Oh my gosh, it was so great.
I
And
mean, it's cool. We watched it. And it was funny.
I watched all 4 hours.
I could have lived my entire life without seeing it.
Oh, the beginning, the middle, the end. It was so great.
That was
Like
cool.
all the celebrities,
Sure.
all the people, all the movies I grew up on, like the comedy. I'm so funny because I watch all of those comedians.
Why am I funny? I didn't watch it.
I mean, I've read all the stories, E-News. I was like, why wasn't Dana Carvey there? Where was Dan Aykroyd? Like, I was just reading up on
All of
every
which she
single
filled me in on, and I was like, oh, cool. I didn't notice.
because literally
No one
no
cares.
one cares.
No.
Go watch it if you get a chance. It's on Peacock. It was great. I loved it.
Quick shout out to another podcast. Again, featuring host
support.
Jay Salazar and guest co-host my beautiful wife, Christine. Literally no one cares. Find that one wherever you listen to podcasts. But with that, we're getting ready. I got to go change because as you might have seen my little brother show up in his Rangers gear, we're getting ready to go watch a Texas Rangers spring training game. My favorite
I'm
place
so excited. Baseball
on
season.
the whole planet.
I mean, football, I
I love it
support
so
you, but
much.
baseball season.
I just love it so much. It's going to be so much
It's gonna
fun.
be so good.
And my little brother's going to drive for us because I'm going to drink.
But literally, no one cares. So,
No one cares.
that being said,
Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Herm's House. Welcome. You are a welcomed guest. We'll see you next time.
see you next
Bye-bye.
time.